Hello and welcome to the Fearless Floyd Show. As always, it's this dude in front of you again. Hey, folks. I'm probably going to make some enemies with this video. I'm going to disappoint some people. I'm going to shatter that little hopium bubble y'all are living in. You know, often wondered where this flag came from. I was wondering why it was just being adorned by everybody who wants to be something special. And I see everybody applying this flag on their little icon on Facebook, on every other social media platform out there. And I'm sure that some of them do it out of just total ignorance. They have no idea. I was once guilty of that sin. And here I am in public on social media admitting I made a mistake. I'm shamed. I'm embarrassed. I'm mortified. But I got over it. Because I was aware enough to realize that I was in the wrong place with the wrong people doing the wrong thing. Even though the ideology of everyone involved was spot on. That being that we have a tyrannical, juvenile delinquent, parasitic bully running our lives. That would be your government. Doesn't matter whether it's local, state, federal, county. They're all governments. They're all parasites. They're all tyrannical, and they're all juvenile delinquent bullies. Because they don't even know what's going on. They just do what they want to do until somebody holds them accountable. And nobody wants to hold them accountable. Everybody wants to run around and play government. I mean, it's not even Monopoly. Because you guys are just playing. You're acting out roles. Every week that y'all meet on these Zooms or webinars or however y'all guys meet, it's sad. It really is. It is totally sad. This video should have 20 million views when I'm done. It won't even have 2,000. Why? Because you guys are too scared to share it. You're a bunch of cowards. You can't face the truth, and that sucks. Because sometimes you have to face reality, and reality is the truth. It's not a lie. It's not fiction. It's not hopium. And you have to realize, you have to go, God damn, I was wrong. Maybe I should do something else. So I've watched you folks, piddle around in your little low communities for well over 5 years now. And y'all just keep going round and round that merry-go-round, and people fall off and people get back on, and new people get on and old people fall off. It's just a merry-go-round. You're never going to establish your de jure county, your de jure state, even though y'all can file all the paperwork you want. Because you're not even prepared to take over. I'm just going to tell you from right now, okay? So you think you're a constitutional sheriff, and you think you got some authority and some administrative know-how. So if I took you over here and put you in charge of the Harris County Sheriff's Office, you think you could handle it on day one? You think you can handle 4 jails? 4 jails. Big jails. Overcrowded jails. That's just the jails. That's not your patrol. on your little substations, not logistics, not budget. See where I'm going with this? And y'all just go in circles and circles and circles. So I often wondered, where did this flag come from? Who made this flag? Really? Who made it? Where did it come from? Why is it so widely adopted when you might as well just stick a swastika on your car? And I know you're going, wow, that's a hell of an analogy there, Floyd. A swastika compared to the civil peace flag? Oh, yeah, I'm going to show you. I told you I'm going to piss some people off when I show them this video. And I would expect every one of you to pull that damn civil peace flag off your social media, off your platform, off your car, off your house, off your property. Put it in the trash where it belongs. And let's move along. Because I keep telling you folks, if you think you're going to change anything with your little community, your little group, your little paid firewall, no. Until we see people in the streets protesting with firearms, holding those people that should be held accountable, you're going to get yours. And believe me, flying that little old civil peace flag, you're on a list. Y'all think I'm kidding? You're on a list. I'll prove it. I'll prove it. You're on a list. Now, are y'all ready to hear this cautionary Christmas story? Because we're going to go find out. We're going to fuck around and we're going to find out. So let's go fuck around and find out, because Floyd decided he wanted to know where the flag came from. So I went and fucked around and I found out. I went and read some more. And before you know it, damn, man, I was like an hour and a half invested into this deep research. A whole hour and a half. And I got the whole story. I told you folks, man, I was guilty of it too, okay? I did it, okay? I stopped. Why? Because I didn't want to be a follower. I was a leader. That's why I have a show. That's why I do these programs. That's why I investigate. That's why I research. Followers don't research. They just wait for you to go, here it is. Did I make it chewy enough for you? Did I cut off enough of the crust? That's how y'all want it. Y'all want it all handed to you. It's just like everybody over at Anna Von Wright says, y'all don't want to do your own research. When you do your own research, you're like, damn, this lady's whacked. What the fuck am I doing here? And then when you ask a question, SpaghettiOs, you ask the wrong question with the wrong people. And you get tarred and feathered and castigated, shamed and embarrassed, and eventually shunned and kicked out from the group. Does that sound like a pattern? Have you ever seen or heard that before? I just made it up on a whim because I've never experienced it. I've never seen it in a Texas State Assembly. Those are trolls. They're instigators. They're informants. Well, guess what? I'm going to be an informant, and I'm going to inform you guys on exactly what you're doing and who you're doing it with and why you're doing it. Because you're doing it out of ignorance. You just went and picked the flag. You didn't even create your own flag. Fuck. I got my own flag. I created my own flag. Why? I'm a leader. I'm a sovereign. I don't need nobody else to govern me. You need anybody else to govern you? I guess you do. You got their flag. And I often wondered, where in the fuck did the United States create that flag in the hierarchy of these American flags that we've seen with the stars and stripes? Did Betsy Ross do that? Betsy! I called her, didn't answer. I left her a voicemail. Then I sent her an email. Then I found her on social media, sent her a direct message. She didn't reply. Wonder why. You know, oh, she doesn't live to be 300 years old? I was wondering how they made that flag here in what, 2000s and not in 1776 or prior to or post independence. Huh. How does that work, Floyd? Well, let's dive in. Um, So I went, let's see if I can find this one. I'm sure I just blazed right by him because sorry, folks. I took a nap and I overslept. I'm like, just now. I literally opened my eyes, looked at my clock, got out of bed, walked down here, and got in front of my studio that quick. So I have a little coffee with that. Well, I don't see my. There it is. Yeah, that's not it. Okay, that's my public notice. So yeah, I just blew right by this guy. So I'm gonna everybody flies this damn flag, so crazy. Where's this guy at? Sorry. This isn't it, but this may have the article. Well, this guy's got a nail, so whoever this is. Well, I don't know who. I don't know who created this, but hey, man, I'm gonna give them all the accolades in the world. But that's not what I'm looking for. I know Ann's calling me, and every time I click on it, it declines the call. Nope. I'll find it as soon as I see it. Damn it. Of course, now I'm looking for it. It was the first thing that popped up. Now that I'm looking for it, I can't find it. And I can't find this guy's website where. Yeah, that's it. I don't think that's it. Of course, it's slow bucking on me. Thank you. Come on, man. Really? Okay. Try it this way. Connection timed out. Jesus, really? Let's see this. Come on. I don't know why Brave's dragging its ass, of course. I just, yeah. Apparently, that's a bad link. No, I'm going to do it this way. Of course, it doesn't list my history. And literally had to go back and pull these up one by one. Let me see my finance. Sure that was not it. Nope. Bear with me, folks. For some reason, I'm getting this dead link. Can't find the same one that was popped up earlier. Let me try over here in Chat GPT. Here we go. Aha. Sorry about that. It'll be worth the wait. All right. I found this. I don't know who this belongs to. I don't know who did this. Don't care. It's uscivilflags.org. Okay. Help us restore the dream. Fly the flag here. Buy it. $32 plus $5 shipping. The first U.S. flag, which denoted civilian versus military purposes, was designed in 1799 by Oliver Wolcott Jr., the Secretary of Treasury under John Adams. Wolcott's proposal featured an ensign consisting of 16 alternating red and white stripes representing the number of states that had joined the Union by 1799, and the Union, represented by a small rectangle in the upper left corner with its arms, an eagle of the United States in dark blue on a white field. It is significant that Wolcott's new civilian flag had vertical stripes, not horizontal. This was done so that non-military ships would be easily recognized and not fired upon as they tried to hail and board foreign vessels. This new flag was actively flown on revenue cutters, what we now call Coast Guard cutters. The original purpose of the revenue cutter was to collect tariffs and other taxes that were imposed on foreign goods. The revenue cutter ensign had vertical stripes to denote civilian authority under the Treasury Department rather than military authority under the War Department. Okay? So, whoever this is, whoever wrote this, oh my God. Again, we have 90% truth, 10% bullshit. And it's that 10% that'll get you fucked over every time. So when these people put out these fucking websites and they spout history, you better go back and you better reread history the best you can. U.S. sovereign flag, January 2004. Australian flag is a way of reminding Americans, as well as our leaders, that every man and woman is sovereign and that we are all endowed by our Creator with life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. This sovereign civil flag is a symbol of our desire to return America to the dreams upon which she was founded. Okay, let's read this. When we first came across the civil flag and decided that this flag should be the symbol for all sovereign citizens, we look back to the Sons of Liberty and their rebellious stripes flag as our example. We wanted a flag that would address the deep need in Americans to awaken and return to a time when our government was not Big Brother, hidden under the name of the Patriot Act. Just as some surmise how the Sons of Liberty turned the British East India Company's flag, he also decided to turn Old Glory on its side. We wanted the flag to represent our modern Union of States. We chose to create a flag that had 13 vertical stripes and 50 blue stars on a white background, one star for each sovereign state of the Union of the United States of America. Well, you dumb motherfuckers, y'all forgot all the U.S. territories. They don't belong. They don't matter. Well, we can just give up the North Marinara Islands, Samoa, Palau, the U.S. Virgin Islands, Puerto Rico, right? Let's give those away. We don't need them. So these are the fools, the total idiots, morons that just chose this for you. And this is why. Okay? And you guys just adopt it and fly it just like your freak flag. Well, I had to do a lot of investigation to figure out this story. So I went and dug into the story. Make sure I got everything. Yeah. Get my ugly mug out of the way. Give y'all black background. Here we go. What does that say? To John Adams from Oliver Wolcott Jr., June 1st, 1799. This is National Archives, Founders Online. Who is John Adams? Oh, yeah, he was a president. Who was Wolcott? He was the Secretary of Treasury. Oh, okay. Sir, Treasury Department, June 1st, 1799. I have the honor to transmit a copy of a letter which I have written to the several of the collectors of the revenue, like IRS agents, on the subject of a temporary provision for relief of sick and disabled seamen. It is found that by a law of the last session, the hospitals for the Army and Navy are to be established under the immediate superintendence of the Physician General. The Secretary of War will, therefore, I presume, submit the arrangement which may be mediated for the appropriation of the President. To prevent a great division of the fund, I have deemed it right to confine the expenditure to the following places: Savannah, Charleston, Wilmington, Newbern, and Edenton, Norfolk, Baltimore, Philly, New York, New London in Connecticut, Newport, Rhode Island, Boston, and Portland, Maine. Obviously not Portland, Oregon. It wasn't a state then. The arrangement is temporary, and if the President shall think proper to direct that any additional places be designated, I shall punctually pursue the orders I may receive. Part 2. I have written to General Lincoln and pointed out Castle Island as a place which has been deemed suitable for the hospital in Massachusetts, and in consequence of a letter from Dr. Thomas Welsh in which he referred to a communication to the President, to the president with the president have represented him as a proper character to be physician of that hospital. Moving on to the next topic at hand, the collection law. The collection law. We're collecting revenue. Okay. The collection law passed during the last session directs, and I quote, that the cutters and boats employed in the service of the revenue shall be distinguished from other vessels by an ensign and pendant, with such marks thereon as shall be prescribed by the president. Close quote. You want me to repeat that? That the cutters and boats employed in the service of the revenue shall be distinguished from other vessels by an ensign and pendant, not or. It's conjunctive, means together, a pair, which such marks thereon shall be prescribed by who? The president, not some fucking yahoo in the sovereign citizen movement. So thank you, John Adams. I submit the enclosed description, which has been furnished by Captain Price to the president's consideration, and with his appropriation, will take measures for having it established. The same act authorizes the appointment of a surveyor to reside at Beacon or Shell Castle Island near Orcacock Inlet in North Carolina. The situation is important to the revenue as it commands the whole trade of Albemarle Sound. I may be pronouncing that incorrectly. I'm sure I am. But Shell Castle Island being nearly uninhabited, and Beacon Island wholly so, and a place proposed as a military station, it appears to be advisable that the office of surveyor be given to the commanding military officer, Captain James Taylor, not to be confused with the musician, is well recommended by Mr. Steele and Mr. Grove, and I take the liberty to request that he may be appointed, for which purpose, if it please the president, I enclose 2 blank commissions, one as surveyor and the other as inspector. I have the honor to be, with perfect deference, sir, your most obedient servant, Oliver Wolcott. That's where your flag came from, folks. Who? By Captain Price, whoever he is. Then it went to Oliver Wolcott. And he wrote out the description and sent it to who? The fucking president of the United States of America, who approved it. May have done some amendments. I don't know. But one thing we do know, it's an ensign and a pendant. So me, my grandfather being a lieutenant commander in the Coast Guard, I don't know what an ensign and a pendant is, but guess what we're going to go do? We're going to go look. United States Navy ensign pendant. Commissioning pendant. I don't even know if we're going to get a real true answer on that one. See if we can get an image. Not really what we're looking for. Try it that way. A naval ensign is a flag flown by a warship to indicate its nationality, serving as a distinctive symbol of a country's naval forces. Most Commonwealth nations, including Canada, use a naval ensign that incorporates elements of their national flag, a practice also observed by non-Commonwealth nations such as Japan, China, Russia. This internationally recognized custom helps distinguish warships from other vessels and foreign navies. Okay, a pendant, specifically known as the commissioning pendant or masthead pendant, is a narrow flag flown at the masthead of a commissioned warship to denote its commission status and the captain's authority to command the vessel. This pendant is the distinguishing flag of the captain and is displaced by the personal flag of the sovereign or more senior officer when they are aboard. The commissioning pennant is flown day and night from the moment a ship is commissioned until decommissioned, except when displaced by a senior officer's flag, or in the case of hospital ships flying the Red Cross flag. So here's a naval ensign. And the pendant was supposed to be flown. So here you go. There's a pendant of the HMS Her Majesty's Service, Her Majesty's ship Lion. See, it was always my take that these were pendants. So we have an ensign and a pendant that are obviously mandatory, right? So we're going to keep digging now that I showed you where the origins of both flags have come from, right? So now we're going to take a deep dive. And I just found this site. Nobody turned me onto it, so I'm going to turn you onto it. And it's called Grokpedia. I guess it's from Elon Musk. I don't know. But in here, you can go look at all this stuff. But this tells you everything you ever wanted to know about Walcott. Let's go up to the top for you guys. Oliver Walcott Jr. You can go to Wikipedia, but here's Grokpedia. Appointed by President George Washington, Walcott served as auditor of the Federal Treasury from 1789 to 1791, as controller of the Treasury from 1791 to 1795, contributed to the early organization of the department. He succeeded Alexander Hamilton, a very popular, magnanimous individual for the United States of America. Managing national finances amid challenges such as the quasi-war with France, efforts to stabilize the public. After resigning in 1800, Walcott engaged in business ventures, including founding an insurance company and serving as president of banks in New York. Returning to Connecticut in politics as a Jeffersonian Republican, he was elected governor in 1817 and oversaw a decade of reforms, including the adoption of a new state constitution in 1818. We can go on a little bit more about his bona fides, his birth and ancestry, education at Yale, his Revolutionary War service, pre-federal political career. You're more than welcome to go read this. Every page that I am showing you, save the last page on the pendants and ensigns. I said that backwards. Ensigns and pendants, respectively. All these links are in the description below, so you can go click on these links yourself in the description and go read this for yourself, because you know what? I'm just a moron sitting here talking to my laptop day after day after day. You would almost think I was insane if you were just admiring me from afar, but oh, that's what you're doing. So here's his legacy and historical assessment, impact on American fiscal institutions. All right, Oliver. What'd you do, Oliver? Oliver Walcott Jr. played a foundational role in organizing the early United States Department of the Treasury. Appointed as the first auditor in 1789, he developed standardized clerical forms and accounting procedures that structured the department's operations. In 1791, as comptroller, he continued refining these administrative methods, ensuring systematic tracking of federal revenues and expenditures. These innovations laid the groundwork for efficient fiscal management in the nascent federal government. as Secretary of the Treasury from February 3rd, 1795 to December 31st, 1800. Wolcott prioritized revenue enhancement to fund governmental expansion, frequently consulting Alexander Hamilton on policy matters. He facilitated the establishment of branches of the First Bank of the United States, extending its reach to support federal financial operations across states. During the Quasi-War with France in 1798 to 1800, Wolcott managed the financing of naval preparations and military expenditures, utilizing loans, custom duties, and congressional appropriations to sustain defense without disrupting core physical stability. Wolcott oversaw the United States Mint's early production, including the minting of the first gold coins, the half eagle in 1795 and eagles in 1796, which advanced the adoption of a uniform national currency. He also directed enhancements to the Revenue Cutter Service, authorizing the arming of cutters for coastal defense and piracy suppression during the Quasi-War, bolstering customs enforcement and maritime revenue collection. In 1799, he introduced a distinctive flag for revenue cutters and boats to differentiate them from merchant vessels. Okay? In 1799, he introduced a distinctive flag for revenue cutters and boats. Why? To differentiate them from merchant vessels, improving operational efficiency. Following his resignation, an 1801 congressional investigation into Treasury accounts under his tenure exonerated him of misconduct allegations, affirming the robustness of the accountability systems he helped implement. His efforts reinforced the Treasury's central role in debt servicing, revenue generation, and institutional continuity, contributing to the enduring framework of American federal finance, which we are all very familiar with, that in 1913, everything was flipped over to the Federal Reserve System to manage our money, because apparently our secretaries of Treasury are too incompetent to do it themselves. Did you hear what I just said? The secretaries of Treasury that we elect a president to appoint and get approved by the United States Senate are too incompetent to handle their own affairs. Why do we even have a Treasury? Explain that one for me. If we just subbed it out to a third-party contractor like they're doing with everything else. Isn't that what they created? Yeah, the U.S. Department of Governmental Efficiency is dead. Well, that dog ain't gonna hunt no more. I told you, I'm gonna piss some people off. I'm gonna shatter some dreams, shatter some hope, make you stop and think about what the fuck am I doing? Who am I listening to? Who am I paying attention to? Who's really telling me the truth? I know it's not that fucked up, fearless Floyd guy. That dude's an asshole. All he does is just put other people down. Well, those people that I put down are fucking scammers. Big time scammers. Speaking of gold coins, what a segue. If you go watch Tucker Carlson's latest interview with the wholesale gold dealer, that entire video, they're talking about mainly one company, Goldco. And I want you to go watch that, and I want you to connect the dots, because it's a very informative video. Everybody should watch it anyway, just to learn. He does make a couple miscitations, but all the statistics and numbers he throws out, hey, I'll let him slide on a couple little errors. So I caught it like that, because Federal Reserve, income tax, life insurance, all that happened at the same time, 1913. And we got our Federal Reserve Bank. Absolutely. Oh yeah, that whole video is talking about Goldco. The reason they don't mention The company Gold Co. They don't mention any of the other players like Phil Godlewski. Can I say that fucking out loud again? God damn me. Phil Godlewski. Phil Godlewski. Phil Godlewski. I hope you remember that name because he goes by Phil G. And he claims to be some intel guy for the United States government. He's full of shit. He's a liar. He's a scammer. And thanks to you people, you divested your life savings, your 401k, everything you fucking had when he told you, oh my God, there's going to be bank failures. There's going to be bank runs. Get everything out and buy my gold, buy my silver. And then when you went to get your money out, you went, what do you mean I don't have any money? Yeah, you pay $70, $80 for 1 ounce of silver. Yeah, and you paid it back when it was like 17 or 18 bucks an ounce. What happened to the rest of that money? Oh, it went in Phil's pocket. It went in Gold Co's pocket. That's why Gold Co can offer somebody like Dinesh D'Souza a shit ton of money to promote Gold Co. Until I sent that fool an email saying, do you know who you're fucking sponsoring? Or who's sponsoring you? They offered Tucker Carlson $20 million to advertise. Trust me, folks. I have friends that own U.S. coins right here on I-10. Go look them up. They don't spend that kind of money on advertising. And they've been doing that since 1979 at the Northwest Mall. Yeah. Y'all people just, I don't know what happened to y'all. If you would, I swear to God, if you would have told me 50 years ago when I was 13 years old that I'm going to be the smartest motherfucker among my peers, I would have went, oh, man, you're crazy. I'm always going to be last in my class. I already dropped out of school. I'm just showing up because I got to. Absolutely. Never read a book till I went to prison. Never studied for homework. My books never left the back seat of my car. I didn't even take them to class after a while. I was like, well, I never even opened it up in class. Why do I even need to bring them? I just brought shit to doodle on. And in case I had to take a pop quiz, I got paper and a pen. Absolutely. Yes. Why? Because, I research, I read. So here's the story. This is where it came from. It just amazes me what people will fall for. Let me see what else I had over here for you guys, because I didn't get a chance to put this in any kind of order. I just kind of downed it. Here's another one. I'm just going to keep reading this for you because I know you guys should know this. If you go share it with somebody, if you have a relative that's over in an assembly and they're flying this flag on your house and you're not involved in this, don't want to be involved in it. Or they got those stupid license plates on your car. 13-star U.S. Revenue Cutter Service Commissioning Pennant. The Act of March 2nd, 1799, known as the Customs Administration Act, authorized that the, quote, the cutters and boats employed in the service of the revenue shall be distinguished from other vessels by an ensign, and pendant, and with such marks thereon as shall be prescribed and directed by the President of the United States. Not some sovereign citizen yahoo that decided, I want to take this and make it this for whatever we feel we want. Oliver Wolcott, Alexander Hamilton's successor as Secretary of the Treasury in 1795, was given the honor of conceiving a new ensign. On June 1st, 1799, Walcott presented his design to President John Adams, who I said that Captain designed. Walcott's concept was an ensign of 16 vertical stripes, alternating red and white, corresponding to the number of states comprising the Union by 1799. Walcott was following the stipulations of Congress, which in 1794 had already modified the national flag to 15 stars on 15 stripes, providing for an amendment to the design at the entry of each new state. Walcott increased the stripes to 16 and altered their display to be perpendicular, or pendicular is what it says. Oh, perpendicular, I'm sorry, to the horizontal lines of the United States flag. This new flag was ultimately implemented August 1st, 1799, when Secretary of the Treasury Oliver Walcott Jr. issued an order announcing that in pursuance of the authority from the President, John Adams, the distinguishing ensign and pennant would consist of 16 perpendicular stripes, alternate red and white, the union of the ensign to be the arms of the United States in dark blue on a white field. Did you hear me? That's the description. 16 perpendicular stripes, alternate red and white. The union of the ensign to be the arms of the United States in dark blue on a white field, white background. We assume that the commission pennant, let me mug out of the way. We assume that the commission pennant, like the ensign, reflected the 15 states of the Union, was adopted at the same time. Traditionally, masthead pennants were flown from a nation's warship. This type of flag is also called by such various names as a commissioning masthead and a long, narrow, or coach whip pennant. Customarily, these pennants were used primarily on public vessels of sovereign states. In 1674, Britain had limited these pennants to use on the king's ships. Presently, such pennants serve as the distinctive mark stipulated in Article 8 of the 1958 Convention on the High Seas, by which to distinguish warships from other vessels. This is what I'm talking about. They take 90% of history and then they throw in that 10% of bullshit. Just enough to make you incorrect, wrong, and potentially illegal and unlawful. The commission pennant is a characteristic marking for commission Coast Guard cutters, vessels commanded by commission or warrant officers. Its raising symbolizes the commissioning new ships, and from that time onward until the ship is decommissioned, the pennant is flown perpetually from the aftermost masthead, except for instances when the cutter is flying an admiral's flag or a command pennant. The commission pennant is also used to indicate the company of a commanding officer, admirals, etc., and is otherwise used for all the same purposes served by its U.S. Navy equivalent. Before the Civil War, revenue marine cutters were already using a commission pennant that was white with 13 blue stars at the hoist, with red and white vertical stripes taking up the fly. After the war, it modified to a design similar to what the U.S. Navy used at the time. This version entailed 13 white stars on blue at the hoist, with the tail striped vertically as opposed to that of the Navy, which had red over white. However, in 1938, the Coast Guard, successor to the Revenue Marine and Revenue Cutter Service, reinstated the old antebellum pennant, which we still see in use today. This small pennant probably dates from after 1938 due to the presence of zigzagging stitching on the pennant. So if you want the links, here you go. I think one or two of them are dead because I looked. And this one basically parrots the same information, but I'll show it to you anyway to make a frickin' point, make it stick. And this is from the same website. The Act of March 12, 1799, known as the Customs Administration Act, authorized that the cutters and boats employed in the service of the revenue shall be distinguished from other vessels by an ensign and pendant with such marks thereon as shall be prescribed and directed by the President of the United States. The job of designing and distinguishing ensign eventually fell upon Oliver Wolcott Jr., who had replaced Alexander Hamilton as the Secretary of Treasury in 1795. On June 1st, 1799, Wolcott submitted his design to President John Adams for approval. Wolcott's proposal featured an ensign of 16 vertical stripes alternating red and white, representing the number of states had joined the Union by 1799, and suggesting a correspondence of stripes and states. Wolcott was following the lead of Congress, which in 1794 had changed the national flag to 15 stars and 15 stripes, implying an adjustment with the entry of each new state. Wolcott, therefore, raised the number of stripes to 16 and dramatically turned their arrangement 90 degrees to differentiate the new revenue cutter ensign from the U.S. flag. This ensign was ultimately authorized August 1st, 1799, when Secretary of the Treasury Oliver Wolcott Jr. issued an order announcing that in pursuance of the authority of the President John Adams, the distinguishing ensign and pendant would consist of 16 perpendicular stripes, alternate red and white, and the union of the ensign to be the arms of the United States in dark blue on a white field. With the design in hand, each collector contracted with the local flag makers to furnish a new revenue cutter ensigns. Although originally intended as a marine ensign to be flown from revenue cutters and custom vessels, the collectors soon were flying it all over their custom houses. During the American Civil War, the U.S. Treasury Department began to issue standardized ensigns to Revenue Marine, and in 1874, Treasury Secretary William A. Richardson required that during business hours, the customs ensign was to be hoisted by the side of the stars and stripes over all custom houses. This is Wikipedia, United States Customs Service. So we already know who they are, what they're all about, right? Aren't they ICE now? Immigration and Customs Informant? Flag. The flag of the Customs Service was designed in 1799 by Secretary of the Treasury Oliver Wolcott Jr. and consists of 16 vertical red and white stripes with a coat of arms depicted in blue on the white canton. The original design had Customs Service seal that was an eagle with 3 arrows in its left talon, an olive branch in his right, and surrounded by an arc of 13 stars. In 1951, this was changed to the eagle depicted on the Great Seal of the United States. Its actual name is the Revenue Ensign, and it was flown by ships of the Revenue Cutter Service, later the Coast Guard, at customs houses. In 1910, President William Howard Taft issued an order to add an emblem to the flag flown by ships from the one flown on the land at custom houses. The version and the badge continues to be flown by Coast Guard vessels. Until 2003, the land version was flown at all United States ports of entry. The renamed CBP ensign is currently flown at CBP's headquarters in Washington, D.C., at its field offices, overseas duty locations, including pre-clearance ports, and at all land, air, sea ports of entry. So there's the flag right there, so you can see it. And here's where I win friends and influence people. Actually, where I probably make a whole shit ton of enemies. Well, we'll just start here. I'm going right for the freaking juggler. This is Wikipedia, so again, take that with a grain of salt. But hey, this is online. It's on the internet. It's fucking gotta be true, right? Well, all you sovereign citizens, God bless you. Let's just scroll down. I'll get my ugly mug off here. I know y'all didn't come here to see me. Stop, Floyd. Denominations and symbols. Not all members of the movement call themselves sovereign citizens. Some regard the term as an oxymoron. It doesn't exist. It's not a word. There's no such thing as sovereign citizens. Even though I'm reading it in black and white. So I hate this argument. It's like people want to bump with me about full faith and credit on the authenticated Department of State authentication for documents. Sovereign citizens may prefer to call themselves what? State nationals, constitutionalists, freemen, natural people, living people, private persons, or people seeking the truth, or living on the land. The name, quote, American State National, close quote, or fondly known as an ASN, became popular among sovereign citizens in the early 2020s, especially among followers of the QAnon conspiracy theory. Here we go with the whole Q-tard university. I told you I'm going to piss some people off. So if you're pissed off, if you're mad, you're frustrated, you're anxious, and you're throwing shit in your house and you're cussing me out, no, you need to cuss out yourself. You need to go look in a mirror and go, man, I fucked up. That fucking Floyd, fucking cocksucking asshole, he was right. The sovereign citizen movement has no single university accepted symbol or emblem, but sovereign citizen documents and signs often have distinctive identifying marks. Some of the most common ones are postage stamps and thumbprints on documents, and the addition of punctuation, dashes, hyphens, colons, and commas to one's name, which sovereign citizens believe has a legal effect. Such groups as the Moorish sovereigns and the Washita Nation have their own specific flags and symbols. Some sovereign citizens use reference to non-existent republics or to the Uniform Commercial Code, UCC, so fondly known here in Texas as the Texas Business Commerce Code, variations on the flag of the United States, or religious symbols such as that of the Vatican, which are thought to establish sovereignty. One common symbol of the American sovereign citizen movement is a version of the U.S. flag with alternate colors and vertical stripes, sometimes known as the flag of peace or the Title IV flag. It is based on a flag allegedly used by American custom houses for a brief period in the 19th century. Around the 2000s, some sovereign citizens began to claim that this is the true flag of the United States of America. Where do these fucking people come from? Who are these idiots? So I can go on and on and on and on and on and on and on, but guess what? Please don't make me, okay? So y'all want to see who some of these people are? Some of these knuckleheads out here spreading the rumors? Because I used to have the people in here. Let me go see if I can. Because it mentions names. QAnons, are you part of the Q-tard University? Because if you are, yeah, well, there you go. Sovereign citizen groups know to believe that led in Texas by gurus who, David and Bonnie Strait, a married couple, convinced parents whose children were removed from their custody of Child Protective Services engaged in child trafficking, which they do, and encouraged them to kidnap their children. The belief that child protection agencies are involved in crimes against children is also consistent with QAnon ideology. Well, you know, it's not QAnon ideology, it's the truth. Y'all want to get into Heather Tucci? We can talk about her. I've talked about her. I've done videos on her. Russell J. Gould, Quantum Grammar. Or who's the other guy? Parse Syntax, that guy. Yeah, I'm friends with his ex-girlfriend. Let's see. I know they got some more in here. Does all this look familiar? You ever seen one of these? Yeah, threw a whole bunch of them away. Because I used to do all this shit. Thought it had some kind of special meaning, special authority, special jurisdiction. No. Hang on, I'll be right back. Pardon me. I'm still blowing this crud out of my body. David Wynn Miller. There he is. David Wynn Miller. Yeah, his ex-girlfriend is Diane. I told you folks, I don't know anybody in this community. I just got here yesterday. Y'all tell me what's going on. I'm just an ignorant fool. So I'm just looking for names because there are some names being named in here. And I'm not going to name them until I see them because I know they were here prior. Gurus, Bonnie and David Strait, sold to their adherents processes and documents such as non-citizen national passports and illegal license plates, purported to give them American state national status and make them immune to U.S. jurisdiction. The Straits methods were proved ineffective in April 2023 when they were arrested and detained on several charges, including driving without a license. Bonnie Strait, who had a warrant on a 2015 gun charge and was sentenced to 5 years imprisonment, the court rejected her arguments that did not have jurisdiction over her and did not allow her husband to represent her in court. And I did a 4-part video series on David and Bonnie Strait on that particular issue, that David Strait sent his wife to prison after she had almost completed a 5-year probationary term. And the dumb bitch listened to idiot David Strait. And David Strait told her to file all this paperwork, terminate her attorneys when she was like 4 years and 10 months into this probated sentence. Would have gotten off probation in like a couple more months. She just stuck it out. But no. We're going to do it David's way. And what did she do? She had already pled guilty to accept the 5-year sentence on a plea bargain, a plea agreement. She threw herself upon the mercy of the court, and the judge granted her 5 years probation. She violated her probation when she went back for a probation revocation hearing. The judge said, "Hey, Bonnie, fuck you. Fuck that little almost 5 years you did on probation. That's all gone, girl. You want to go over here and you want to play dirty? Well, guess what? We're going to play dirty. We're going to send your ass to TDCJ. And then you're going to do the rest of that on paper. So you're going to do 5 more years in custody, either in the correctional institution division or the parole division. Take your pick, woman." Y'all think I'm playing. That's where this shit will get you. Roger Elvick. I bet probably 90% of you don't know who Roger Elvick is. Y'all go look up Roger Elvick. Heather Ann Tucci did a video on her. Y'all go read what her and her Randall Bean did. 1099 OID, baby. Got them big fat checks from the Treasury, baby. We're going to go get hog. Here's another one. Winston Shrout. If you don't know who any of these people are, you better hit those brakes, back fuck up, and go learn. I know who all these people are. Oh, sovereign citizens, legal entities. Sovereign citizens, common law courts, and other legal entities lack any legitimacy. Some may simply be ignored by authorities. In 2015, sovereign citizen guru Anna Marie Reisinger, a.k.a. Anna von Reitz, the self-proclaimed judge of a common law court in Alaska, published a letter calling for federal agents to arrest President Barack Obama, the entire Congress, Secretary of the Treasury, causing minor internet rumor. Snopes debunked her claim by establishing that von Reitz is not a real judge, and their orders, therefore, had no force. However, depending on the nature and severity of the action, sovereign citizen courts may be disbanded and their leaders prosecuted. If you don't believe me, go look up Bruce Doucette, Colorado 9, and that fat-ass 38-year state sentence he's doing for being the chief justice or a constitutional sheriff over there in Colorado for Anna von Reitz, and he was going to go around and he was going to hold people accountable. Oh, who we got here? Bruce Doucette is an American sovereign citizen guru, self-proclaimed judge who has been convicted of racketeering, conspiracy, and other felonies and sentenced to 38 years in prison. Have you ever once heard Anna von Reitz mention Bruce Doucette in one of her webinars? Hello? Hello? Anna von Reitz's Federation of States. Have you ever heard the word Bruce Doucette? You know who he is? Huh? I bet you're trying to do the same thing Bruce is. Go get you a 38-year sentence. And guess who's not going to send you commissary money, Anna? Guess who's not going to raise money for your criminal defense fund and your appellate fund, Anna? Guess who's going to forget all about you, Anna? Y'all keep fucking around. Y'all going to find out. Y'all going to find fucking out the hard way. Y'all ding-dongs. Accept your shame, accept your guilt, accept your embarrassment, apologize to your family, friends, coworkers, and everybody else. Go do the 12 steps. We need a assembly anonymous for people who've been washed out of the assemblies, can overcome their guilt and shame and embarrassment. So let's read old poor Bruce's story here. I should write Bruce. In 2010, Bruce Doucette, a computer repair shop owner. Okay, doesn't that sound like you? Just a hardworking individual trying to get both ends to meet. Who styled himself a Superior Court judge, just like me. I was elected Chief Justice of the Texas State Assembly. Until I went and read about Bruce Doucette. I went, what the fuck? This can't be true. Fuck. Just wasted all these time with these people. And the last thing I'm trying to do is go fucking back to prison. I just got out. What the fuck I want to go back for? For being stupid and fucking around with the wrong goddamn people, doing the wrong fucking shit. Got some little old grandma up in Alaska. You're telling me all this history, and I got to believe it because I'm too lazy to go read it for myself. Pitiful. So, as a Superior Court judge, and led a group called the People's Grand Jury in Colorado, traveled the country to help other sovereign citizens fight local governments to set up their own common law courts. He and his followers attempted to intimidate public officials so they would dismiss criminal cases against other sovereign citizens. When these efforts failed, Doucette's group retaliated by engaging in paper terrorism against them with false subpoenas and liens and threatening them with arrest. In May 2018, Colorado's 18th Judicial District ruled that Doucette's network of common law courts was a racketeering enterprise equivalent to organized crime. Doucette was found guilty on multiple felony counts and sentenced to 38 years in prison. Two of his co-defendants were sentenced to 36 and 22 years, respectively. I don't know why it's respectively, because it doesn't say who they are or delineate between the two. Somebody erred. Colorado prosecutors commented that through this verdict, they wish to send a message nationally to sovereign citizens and remind them that threats against local government officials would not be tolerated. Would y'all like to read some more about some of these crash test dummies? Because if you're flying this civil peace flag on your social media, you're a crash test dummy. Okay? You're headed for a crash test, whether you like it or not. Here's some more David Wynn Miller. Universal Postal Union. I mean, all this sound familiar? All this is right here. And I'm not even done, folks. Wait till I get over here to the good article. This is just Wikipedia. Anybody can throw this shit up here. And if you don't know yet by now, it's owned and operated through a straw man. Wow, does that sound familiar? A straw man? What's a straw man? Anybody know? If you're watching my show, you probably don't know what a straw man is. Probably never heard the term, right? The CIA owns Wikipedia, folks. I'm just looking to see if y'all recognize any names. Italy, Russia, France, Belgium, Netherlands. This shit's spread all over. It's pathetic. You want to see the violent incidents? There you go. That's just the highlights. Do you see your group in here anywhere? Constitute Sheriff and Peace Officers Association. That would be probably Sheriff Richard Mack's organization right there. Y'all remember the Embassy of Heaven? Y'all remember those folks? You don't? Well, I sure do. Individuals. Y'all see any names y'all recognize? I see David Wynn Miller right there. Sean David Morton. Of course, Terry Nichols from the Oklahoma bombing. Concepts. And here's all the references. Oh, man. Oh, man. Oh, man. And I'm not done. Hold on. You think I could cover all that in an hour? No. I'm going to go get to that. I didn't even realize I opened that one up. Okay. What, Sauce? What you want, baby girl? Why you over here harassing me? Every time I get on here and do a live show, you want to come over here and just like, dude, I need some attention. I need some love. Oh, shit. What the hell? What the hell? Hey, it's the police. It's Police One, everybody. Police1.com. Alexa Poll Media Group. You can set up an account. You can register. Careers and training. Police job board. Recruitment. Training gear. Oh, you're off duty. Games and puzzles. Fitness and health. Finance and retirement. Product guide. Oh, you need some shit? Hey, we got you covered. You need some drones, career development. You want to work in corrections? How about financial, insurance, and legal services? Investigation, medical supplies, leadership, software management, apparel, company news, product directory, news and analysis. Most popular. Boom, 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 boom. Oh, shots fired. Deep dive. Y'all want to learn something? Y'all want to see what the cops do? What cops want? Wow, would you like that? Vision, future of policing. That would probably be a whole video right there just on that. But anyway, I'm over here with Dr. Christine Sarteshi. I know I've invited her on the show multiple times, but due to her position as an expert witness against domestic terrorism and supremacist groups, she declined to come on my show. So let's go just see what this little old article has right here. And I know y'all don't want to see my ugly mug, so I'm going to digress and get the hell off. Who? American state nationals, the newest group of sovereign citizens. July 29th, 2024, it was updated by Dr. Christine Sarteshi. Understanding the behavior and ideology of sovereign citizens is crucial for ensuring the safety of law enforcement officers, especially during traffic stops. Y'all want to watch this little video? This little, let's see if, I don't want to get copyright strike for just doing some stupid shit. So here we go. It's narrated down here at the bottom. By Dr. Christine M. Sarteshi, LCSW. Sovereign citizens are individuals who, despite being legal citizens of their respective countries, deny any legitimacy of their governments and thus consider themselves immune to their laws. The movement is loosely affiliated and not typically unified, though followers share similar beliefs and ideologies. They use the terms to describe themselves, such as living man or woman, natural woman or man, free woman, secure party creditor, state national, and the newest variation, American state national. Sovereign citizens are anti-government, anti-democratic, anti-institution, and can be best described as modern-day outlaws. They pose a threat to the U.S. government and other governments worldwide. As legal citizens of a country who reject the jurisdiction of their government and its justice systems, they exhibit anarchist tendencies. Accurate statistics on sovereign citizen movement challenging to obtain. Estimates suggest there are between 100,000 to 300,000 sovereign citizens in the United States in recent years. Federal officials have noted a resurgence in the movement. Federal Bureau of Investigation identified the sovereign citizen movement as one of its top threats. And that's a quote. All right. I could read all this stuff, but most of it you've heard before. In addition to in-person seminars, $150 to $200 per person, ASNs also purchase materials through websites via social media. One popular product for sale is the Freedom Bundle, priced between $175 and $500. This bundle contains a set of documents purported to help individuals move into the private and gain standing. Individuals complete these forms and send specific documents to courts and certain government agencies. Pima County, Arizona has become a preferred location for ASNs to file their documentation, attracting submissions from individuals who do not reside in the state. If you're not familiar with the Freedom Bundle, that would be a David Lester Straight product. Just like his Freedom Bot, Freedom, whatever that fucking thing was, his mastermind program. Another big ripoff to his reputation and viewers. And we can sit here and go down all this. Boom, 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 boom. And this is where the kid got shot on the side of the road in Utah for displaying fictitious license plates because his parents were all tied up in the assembly. And here's your right to travel binders. And my brother does, but my brother's is based on foundational law. He actually owns law books, reads them, and applies the law, not some sovereign citizen vernacular bullshit. Recommendations for law enforcement when encountering sovereign citizens. So if you want to play around and fuck around and find out and be a sovereign citizen, this is what they are instructed to do. So you might want to go read this before you do any of this. Playing your and I've done this. I played this video in one of my other shows. Absolutely. Because when people tell me, oh, it's bullshit, they don't exist, and it's an oxymoron, I'm like, fuck you, shut the fuck up. You're gonna tell me what I'm reading is like not what I'm reading? You dumb motherfuckers. Try to make me believe something else, and I'm looking at it in black and white. And you're going to try to convince me otherwise. You're going to try to con me. That's what ignorant, stupid people do. Between this one and the Wikipedia, there used to be another name brought forward, and I don't see it, and that's why I have not mentioned that name. Because then it would be coming from me and not from a source. So that's not how I roll, folks. That's why you haven't heard it. Chase Allen, that's the kid's name. And I used to design license plates, and I used to sell them on my website. After this happened, I stopped. I was not going to be a part of any of this. I could not live with myself if somebody's kid got killed on the side of the road because he was brandishing license plates that I created and sold him. The link to this article is in the description below. If you'd like to go read it, please do. And where'd that other one go? I lose it, did I? Ah, here we go. Let me pop this up real quick just so you guys can see. This, believe me, this is not me. I don't make this shit up. This is the Anti-Defamation League. You know, I'm not going to say that sovereign citizen movement in the United States. No. Published December 21st, 2023. Extremism, hate, or terrorism. Some good classifications to be under, don't you think? This link is not in the description below. This is what these folks write. People read this. People get this as the truth because it's on the internet. It's got to be true. Another thing I tell you about these legal morons who think they're legal eagles, don't know what the fuck they're doing. And then they go out here and they parrot all this law and all this other shit y'all just suck right up as truth and fact. And these motherfuckers couldn't fight their way out of a paper bag in court. It's pathetic. And I think I'm going to do a video on that. I'm definitely going to do him on my year-end review. I'm definitely going to put him in there. And listen, folks, I don't care whether you like me or not. You're not going to change my life, my circumstances. You're not going to make me rich. You're not going to make me poor. You're not going to make me popular. You're not going to make me unpopular. Trust me, when I go to bed tonight, I'm still going to have trouble sleeping, and it's not going to be anything to do with you. So I already have a rough time sleeping. So this is minuscule in the grand scheme of things. So, like I said, you can hate me. You can do whatever the frick you want. I don't care anymore. I really don't. I'm going to sit here and cover this stuff. I mean, here's just one example after another, after another, after another, after another. Are there people winning? Yes. People are winning, but they're winning by really applying the law in their cases. These people are morons. They're all half-steppers. I mean, you want to be one of these little paragraphs on some website? You keep fucking around, that's what you're going to be. You're going to be right next to all these people. And nobody's going to give a fuck about you in this community because they're all selfish. If you haven't figured that out, you're in the wrong place. And it's just like, you know, I'm halfway through. We're still going with these stories. It's the idiots that make things bad. Go out there and don't know what the fuck they're doing or don't care. They want to whip out a firearm and, hey, we're just going to end it right here and now. I'm scrolling through this. You can pause it or read it if you want. Like I said, I did not include this. The Sovereign's influencers most effective in reaching out to these new audiences have been David and Bonnie Straight and Bobby and Tia Lawrence, who began as disciples of the Straights in 2021 and now partner with them. The Straits and Lawrences teach standard sovereign citizen theories, but pepper their presentation with terms and phrases important to the QAnon lore, such as the cabal, the storm, medbeds, as well as references to the coronavirus and to Donald Trump, who they portray as a sovereign citizen or an American state national, the term the Straits and Lawrences prefer to use. Q-Tard University. If you don't know and you haven't watched that video yet, listen. If you're part of the QAnons, Qs, 4chan, all that bullshit, that's a governmental / military psychological operation. Absolutely. So if you're over there getting cued, you got a Q stuck up your tailpipe. Yeah, without Vaseline. Absolutely. So, like I said, it just goes on and on and on and on. These people are political prisoners because they believe they have some kind of political authority. You know, I can sit here and go on and on and on. Because once the government, once law enforcement labels you a sovereign citizen or an American state national, that's going on your permanent record. You will forever be a sovereign citizen. I'm telling you, every time they run your driver's license, run your plates, boom, you're going to pop up, sovereign citizen, red alert, red alert, red alert. You want to be that person? Y'all keep fucking around. You're going to find out. You're going to find out when AI comes and takes over. You're already on that list. They know where to find you. They know when you meet. They got all your information. Trust me. There are infiltrators in those groups that get the information and then pass it along to people like Dr. Christine Sarkeshi and the Anti-Defamation League and the Southern Poverty Law Center and all these other groups out there who label sovereign citizens and American state nationals as domestic terrorists. And if y'all think that just because you're a MAGA or a QAnon, that you're going to be protected against the Trump administration's Department of Justice or FBI or ICE or something, because Trump's a sovereign citizen, you guys keep thinking that. And when you're sitting in the BOP or your state penitentiary, you remember this video of Fearless Floyd going, oh, man, that fucking fool told me. He told me not to fuck around and find out. And I went and fucked around and I found out. So I covered that one. Let me go give this guy some props. Whoever this is. Excellent job. Let me go over here and get my mug out of the way. I just stumbled on this. I know, doggy. Are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready? The urban legend of his civilian national flag. And I'm going to read all this because whoever did this, God bless you. Thank you. Thank you for your service. Thank you for your generosity. Myths and misunderstandings about flags, both real and fantasy-based, abound in vexillological world as they do in most fields in our modern world of the internet. Conspiracists, kooks, politicians, religious leaders, and scholars all vie to prove the existence of their own pet version of reality without filters or actual facts and real research. Basically, you can post almost anything on the worldwide net, and not only will some believe and accept it as fact, they will spread the nonsense far and wide. The myth of the existence of a civilian national flag is a prime example of how this works. This short essay is an explanation of how these falsehoods are spread. The quotes examined are directly from the internet and continue to be appropriated and expanded upon. The so-called United States civilian flag, which seems to have started by an erroneous identification of the customs flag, apparently is not a recent phenomenon, as the clipping from the 1870s attests. Basically, there never has been a different civilian version of the national flag. Yet, this urban legend continues to be believed by many. Here's the customs flag. That's what it looks like underneath the American flag. How somebody fucked all this up? Well, let's find out. Maybe they have a better answer. In the picture, the flag being flown beneath the United States flag is that of the United States Customs Service. As a civilian branch of the United States government, it was responsible to keeping illegal products outside of U.S. borders. It also regulated what could leave the United States and what was partially responsible for who could enter the United States. It was dissolved on March 1st, 2003, and became an agency of the United States Department of Homeland Security. It is now called the United States Bureau of Customs and Border Protection. So how did this flag gain the false impression that it was a civilian version of the United States flag? Creating the myth of the United States civil flag. The trick of getting an urban legend believed is to make statements that are true, but connect them to unrelated or false facts, thus making the whole thing seem possible. Again, this is your 90 and 10%. 90% fact, 10% bullshit. The existence of a separate civilian version of our national flag is a perfect example of this strategy. Here's how you do it. Okay? Strategy 1. Show pictures of the flag and then change the caption. Take a look at this picture. It shows the customs ensign being raised over the United States appraiser stores at the port of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania on July 4th, 1919. We even know the names of those in the pictures. They were from left to right. Eli G. Corbley, messenger. Harold C. Harbison, examiner. John B. Thomas, opener and packer. Charles A. Davis, inspector. W.S. Bowler, examiner. And James Houlihan, appraiser of merchandise. However, if we want to create an urban legend, we simply change the caption under the flag to the flag of peace. U.S. civil flag in 1919 at the end of World War I. Now, the casual reader will assume that the Customs Service flag was a protest flag at a peace rally, and the only flags used at the 1919 peace rally were standard stars and stripes. Strategy 2. Cite fictitious information from unverifiable experts. Read carefully the following information, paying special attention to those statements marked in red. Quote, it is believed by some historians that the civil flag was discontinued after the Civil War when the federal government imposed military governments in the states and disbanded civilian government. As a show of its power over the states, civil flags were discontinued and Old Glory became the sole emblem representing the people of the United States of America, united under military or admiralty rule. Close quote. First of all, you should ask yourself, what historians believe this? Admittedly, right after the Civil War, temporary Union military governments were placed over the former Confederate governments to keep order, but no action was taken to eliminate non-existent civil flags. The only flags not allowed were the Confederate flags, which were replaced by the stars and stripes. If you wonder about the admiralty rule comment, this refers to an imagined connect between maritime law, a body of civil law which governs maritime questions and offenses, and the imagined military conspiracy. Strategy 3, distort true facts by mixing in unsupported opinions. Again, read carefully the following information, paying special attention to those statements marked in red. Quote, through usage and custom, horizontal stripes have become adopted for use over military posts and vertical stripes adopted for use over civilian establishments. The civil flag, intended for peacetime usage in custom houses, civilian settings, had vertical stripes with blue stars on a white field. By the law, the flag, this design denoted civil jurisdiction under the Constitution and common law, as opposed to military jurisdiction under admiralty/military law. You take a true fact like the Congress in 1777 directed the United States flag should have 13 stripes, alternating red and white, and a union of 13 stars, white in a blue field, without saying the stripes should be horizontal. Then add some imaginary reference to a flag with vertical stripes adopted for the use of a civilian establishment with blue stars on a white field. Then throw in an unsubstantiated references to the Constitution, common law, and dark military/admiralty reference, and the process of deception really begins. The flag for original U.S. Custom Cutter Service, eventually becoming the U.S. Coast Guard, was introduced in 1799, 22 years after the original flag resolution, and did, in fact, have vertical stripes. 16, because there were 16 states then. See images below. Here's your fictitious civil flag with 13 stripes, and here's your Custom Cutter Service flag with 16 stripes, the American Eagle, and the 16 stars for the 16 then states. Strategy 4, add untrue statements that sound reasonable. Again, read carefully the following information, paying special attention to those statements marked in red. Most flag purchase orders were for the military version by the federal government. Outpaced by military purchases, civil flag orders were almost non-existent, as the cost was far more than most Americans could afford. Naturally, the demand for a non-existent flag or a flag for one branch of the Treasury Department would be small, and because of this, expensive. How many custom service flags have you seen? And unless you own a boat, how many Coast Guard ensigns have you seen? Again, using statements that sound reasonable, you build a case for the existence of a non-existing flag. It is interesting that the catalyst for this whole myths was in itself a work of fiction. It started in Nathaniel Hawthorne's novel, The Scarlet Letter, which contains a description of an American custom flag erroneously described as having 13 stripes, calling it a civil flag. Actually, since the Custom Service was not a military branch, then technically it was a civil flag. Quoting here, with a view from its front windows, adown this not very enlivening prospect, and thence across the harbor stands a spacious edifice of brick. From the loftiest point of its roof, during precisely 3.5 hours of each forenoon, floats or droops, in breeze or calm, the banner of the Republic, but with the 13 stripes turned vertically instead of horizontally, and thus indicating that a civil, not a military post of Uncle Sam's government is here established. I guess that's a close quote. It provided the perfect opening to start a new urban legend. When the newest movie based on Hawthorne's novel showed a civil flag, it added fire to the cause. It has also been helped by the fact that the U.S. Treasury Department flags and ensigns were not standardized until the American Civil War, and each collector of customs was responsible for acquiring flags and ensigns on their own, leading to many variants both in construction and details of the insignia. Add into this mix a variety of similar-looking 18th and 19th century flags of the U.S. Revenue Service and the U.S. Coast Guard, and the urban legend supporters and conspiracy theory enthusiasts have a rich field to choose from. And here are your different variants. And I'm sure some have been lost to history over time. Simply were not collected after the standardization after the Civil War. So I'm sure there's many more variants, but for the most part, an eagle on a white background with the red and white horizontal stripes, or vertical rather. Take a look at this illustration. The early 18th century U.S. custom flags recently sold at Sotheby's auction. Notice it has 13 stripes instead of 16. Either a variant or the result of a repair. As you can see, the confusion can be generated. This was sold at Sotheby's. In conclusion, The urban legend of a civil flag continues to allow conspiracy theory enthusiasts fertile land to plow and a chance to make a little money on the side by selling civil flags and buttons. Supporters of Ron Paul have flown a modern version of the civil flag at Ron Paul presidential rallies. It is also interesting that the same conspiracy theory enthusiasts who make claims for a separate civilian version of the flag also claim that any gold fringe on a flag signifies some sort of admiralty / military / law merchant plot. But that's another story, or rather myth. So here's the fictitious civil flag variant. Here's the civil flag currently being sold. Concluding, interestingly enough, although historically the civil flag flies only as an interesting flight of fancy, today it also has become a supposititious flag and is now being manufactured and sold as a protest / message flag. But this is another topic. The author of this brief tome sends his thanks out to James Farragon for his expert help and advice on this page. If you'd like to read this, the link is in the description below. I have not delved into any of the other links on this page. The Tale of Two Flags, folks. Now you know the real story, the real truth. So if you're flying one of those hoe-ass peace flags on your social media or in your backdrop for your podcasts, you're making yourself a target. Whether you're already on a list, I don't know. I'm just going to, for health and safety, to presume you're already on a list. So if you continue to do so, all you're doing is just like putting more breadcrumbs. Here. You can't find me here. I'll just leave a trail. You'll find me. That's all you're doing. Put a big old target on your back, on your chest, side of your head. People don't want to listen. You guys think you're going to change the world over your little group. You're not. I keep telling you. It's we, the frickin' people, the ones with feet on the ground, the ones that are actually going to go make a change. We're not going to go hide in some paywall where we got to pay $5 a month to be a part of your little program. Or we're going to meet on a Zoom call every Tuesday and talk shit. What are we going to do? Oh, we're going to do this. We're going to appoint so-and-so, and they're going to do that. Until you think you're almost there, and then you're like, okay, we're ready to stand up. We got over 200 papered members. And then here comes a chaos bomb. Boom! And your assembly goes into disarray almost immediately. Because you cannot have more power and authority than your cult leader. Because you're in a cult, folks. Realize it. Wake the fuck up. You're in a cult. You've been brainwashed. You're in a cult. If you're in QTAR University, you're in a cult. If you're in an assembly, you're in a cult. If you call yourself an American State National, you're in a cult. We, the people, have the power. Go read your state constitution. You put yourself in charge. Your ancestors put you in charge. They gave you a republic if you can keep it, and you couldn't keep it. You're giving it away every day, and you're making it even worse by going over here and trying to recreate the wheel. The wheel was already invented for you. It worked perfectly until everybody got lazy and went, hey, y'all do it. That's what we elected you for. Yeah, we trust you. Bob, you're a good old boy. You've never done me wrong on an insurance deal with your insurance company. So you can go in there and you can represent our district. We trust you. That's what happened. They went in there, they got all that power, they got all that authority, they got all that ego, and they just went hog wild. And then every successor afterwards is like, oh, this is all I got? Okay, cool. Now I'm going to go get some more. And they get more. Then they never want to leave. Then they're in there in Congress for 40, 50 years. They become a career politician. Like Greg Abbott. He was a judge or an attorney, but he was definitely Chief Justice of the Texas Supreme Court. And then when he got finished over there, he went and became our Texas Attorney General. When he got done over there, he went ran for governor. Career politician. In so much, he was once a Democrat and switched over to the Republican Party when it became convenient. Because that's how they work. They never want to get out of office. Look at Mitch McConnell, Nancy Pelosi, Chuck Schumer, career politicians. Because you can become a multimillionaire being a politician. How the fuck did that work? So now you have the tale of two flags. You have the truth about where these flags come from, who uses them, why they use them, and why you should not display that flag, because it's 100% fictitious. It has no basis in any law, treaty, act, constitution, or any kind of decree or judicial order. It has as much authority as this sheet of paper, this blank sheet of paper, except this is what you're telling them. That's what you might as well put on the flag. Domestic terrorist. Here I am with a big arrow. I'm a stupid. I told you this video is going to piss some people off. And I hope it pisses you off. And I hope you get just snot slinging, storming, stomping, just pissed off, throwing shit, cussing people out. Because you got. Admit it. Come on. Admit it. Finally, get yourself some fucking integrity. Get yourself some fucking balls. Quit poo-pooing around saying, oh, I'm going to change the world, being American state national. My little old group over here, listening to Grana, because Grana's God. Grana's the biggest fucking scammer. Man, y'all stop. You have permission to stop. Go read the Bible. Okay? Go read for once. You read this, you probably go, yeah, maybe I'm in the wrong place with the wrong people doing the wrong thing. I told you, if you want to go change it politically, go run for sheriff, go run for mayor, go run for governor, go run for chief judge, justice. You got to go to the positions that have power where you can make change. Because if you go try to make change, they're going to hold you accountable like they are with Tina Peters. You know, it's extremely surreal for me to open up an email and see all the people that got CC'd to it. It's going to Pam Bondi and Kash Patel and Department of Justice and all these other entities, and I'm getting CC'd in it. That's just, to me, it's surreal. Because now they're seeing my name. Like, who the fuck is this Fearless Floyd Show guy? What is that? Well, I'm the guy over here telling people the truth, whether they like it or not. I don't care if you tune back in. I don't care if you subscribe. I don't care if you like this video. I don't care if you give it a thumbs down. I don't care if you give a comment below. I really don't. You know why? Because I'll be back here tomorrow doing another video, probably, about another topic. It has nothing to do with this category, like I did last night. What did I talk about last night, Floyd? What did you talk about last night? Huh? And the day before that, I told y'all on that video. And what did I do that day? I talked about this that I told you the day before that. Remember I told you? What the fuck happened to Doge? Oh, they went to the Pentagon and got a big fat finger from Pete Hegseth's went, you're not coming in here. You're not going to go find all those trillions of dollars that we spent on black projects. No, get the fuck out. Don't come back. And they said, hey, look out, Prez. Hey, they won't let us in. What do you mean we can't go in? What? And don't go back? Well, that's what we're here for. We're supposed to go in there and find all that money. Oh. All right, Pete, holler at you. We won't be back. And that was the end of Doge. That was the fork in the back of Doge. Straight from your president. Why do you think Elon Musk got all fucked up? So like, man, the fuck is he doing? That's where all the money's at. I know that's where all the money's at. That's why we're here. Just because you're a QAnon, just because you're a MAGA or a MAHA, that you think you might be protected by the Trump administration, you better fucking think again, because the Trump administration is about the Trump administration. They're not about we the people. That was just a bunch of political rhetoric to get them elected, to get them back in power. Now we're at Operation Warp Speed 2. You remember Warp Speed 1? Yeah. 1 is when they took that thing and went, that was Operation Warp Speed 1. And the millions of people that are still being deleted, if you know what I mean. And that asshole in D.C. and Mar-a-Lago called Donald John Trump has not taken responsibility, has not held anybody accountable. That's why Dr. Phil Fauci, the Beagle killer, still out there running around, spending those millions of dollars that, the United States gave him to do all this testing and kill beagles and create all these infectious diseases that'll kill millions of fucking people in these clandestine labs. I know, it's just like the cocaine in the White House. We're going to find out who did that. Albeit there's only one known coke addict to have habitated the White House during that tenure, and that would be Hunter Biden. Probably his. I'm sure you could produce a case that would stick. Because if they can indict a ham sandwich, again, I swear to tell the truth, whole truth, nothing but truth, help me God. Once upon a time, this guy, I was in county jail at 2310 Toscada Road, Humble, Texas, at what now is the Pam Lynchner State Jail. At the time, it's called the Rehab. But it wasn't rehab at all. It was just a stepping stone to go to prison because it was built like a fucking prison. This guy walks up to me and goes, hey, Floyd, check this out. And he shows me his indictment. He goes, I just got this. I'm like, okay, what's up? Said you robbed a store or a gas station or something. Yeah, Floyd, but look at the date. You were here. I know, Floyd. I couldn't have done it. I'm like, they indicted you for a crime and you were in Harris County Jail when they said you robbed this gas station. Yeah, Floyd, I got to beat that. Yeah, but we can't get an indictment for that cocaine in the White House. So if you think you're going to see any heads roll, the Clintons, the Obamas, all that, probably not. You already see what they're doing with these Comey indictments. They're already backtracking. Oh, the prosecutor was illegally installed. That's dead. How did they even know that? Y'all keep watching the show and trust the plan, because the plan is to fuck you over and turn you into a genetically modified organism 100% controlled digitally by your digital DNA and a digital twin and a digital omniverse. Absolutely. Artificial intelligence is the new world order. The all-seeing capital I, AI. Isn't that what's on top of the pyramid? AI? Y'all have a good night. Happy Thanksgiving if I don't see it. God damn, I got 31 comments over here. Y'all going to make me go read all these comments? I'll do it. Got to at least drop in and say hi. Freeman Liberty 1 2025. Good evening, everyone checking in from Chicago. Peace and blessings. Thank you for that. Welcome to the show. I don't think I've ever seen you here. Hallelujah. I guess I hit something. Hey, Antium. I share. It's the recipients who don't share. Frustrating as the Dickens. Read, complain, then move on. Yeah, I know. So much goes back to English law and customs. We're handicapped not by knowing heraldry. Well, let me break this off to you, okay? We go a little bit further, a little bit deeper than English law. This is Roman law. We already know what happened during the Roman times, right? Hey, Jevum. Make sure I get the right name. All right. Grokkopedia. Good point. Why they have the expense of a treasury. There was no Doge savings. Isn't that what upset Musk? Waste was identified, then ignored? No, there was Doge savings. But remember, the government, it's just like a motor in a car. It doesn't matter what name brand component you put on it. You can put Moroso valve covers. You can put B&M valve covers. You can put Carroll Shelby valve covers on there. They're valve covers. Doesn't matter what brand. As long as they're true and straight and have a gasket on it, and the engine's going to function. Sometimes it'll run better. Sometimes it'll run worse. Sometimes it runs average. But it doesn't matter what you replace it with. It still runs. It's still the same. It's just like Elon Musk said when he was asked, who is the Antichrist? Well, it's not a who. It's a what. It's the system. The system is the Antichrist. And the system's going to be taken over by AI. And then we're all in fucking trouble. Yeah, I saw that the other day, Richard. Welcome to the show. Thank you. President Roosevelt and Congress recognized the sovereign citizens in their proclamation. I am an American Day in our self-governing republic. Never read that. How you do, Dad Indies? I guess I got that right. I hope not. If I massacred it, I apologize. You let the stupid cop write the ticket, then you sign it, accept it with your offer to contract with full immunity without recourse, 1-308. AI is going to take over these stupid police departments in about 2 years. Land of Florida, they've got an AI police car with a drone in it. Won't be long before they replace all these stupid cops with AI. Well, Richard, listen, we need cops. Okay? We need good cops that are highly trained in multiple fields, okay? Not just law enforcement, but they need to recognize mentally ill people. They need to know how to address that and how to deal with that, because all situations are different. When I was locked up, I had William Job. Yeah, just like in the Bible. I actually got to meet his brother when I was sent to my in-prison therapeutic treatment program. He kept bragging about his brother. My brother, my brother, my brother, my brother. I get over there and I do 6 months with his brother. And they're from out up the road here in Montgomery County. William had a DWI. Apparently, he got pulled over on one of his prior DWIs, had 100 hits of acid on him, and ate the acid. And then apparently become a paranoid schizophrenic thereafter. And so much was this guy out there. He would literally pull down his boxers and his pants, bend over, spread his cheeks, and tell you, hey, do you see that camera? They're watching me. Do you see the camera? Remember, I'm telling God's truth. So I've been around paranoid schizophrenics. I actually got that guy back in court, and he went in there and just fucked it all up. But, paranoid schizophrenic. Tess Castro, hello. Greetings from Connecticut. Top the like and share. Yeah, hit that like and share. I don't care whether you do or not. I really don't. Honest to God, I don't. I had this flag during COVID outside. Yep. You're welcome. I know you had no idea it's BS because you get sold. You get in this little community. You trust the people that you're listening to. You think they're the smartest people in the world because they know a little bit more than you do. They can throw out that legalese with ease to make you think, oh, wow, they're very well read and studied. But you don't know they're citing the wrong fucking law. Richard, is it true we should circle around signature on any ticket court prior to include agreement to whatever is written? I don't know if that works. Richard, you write at 45 degrees. That should be WRITE. Write at a 45-degree angle across the face of the ticket. I accept your offer to contract with full immunity without recourse to any sign it, put it in the signature spot on it. Hargus 606, thank you for your work. You're more than welcome. I'm glad I can present it for you folks. Somebody's got to do the heavy lifting. Somebody has to do the research. Somebody has to be out here banging the drum, telling you guys the truth. There's too many of them out there that are just selling you fucking wolf tickets, and you guys are buying them by the dozen. They're trying to sell you 2, and you go back for 10 more. I don't know how to explain it. There's other gurus out there who have social media platforms, and I'm going to name one of them, Jeremy over at Patriots Rising. If you say anything bad about Phil Godlewski in that Telegram room, you are kicked the fuck out. So, me personally, anybody who supports somebody like that, I don't fuck with them. Mike Barra, he's another fucking moron. I'd like to slap the fucking facial hair right off that little fucking pussy face. Lying about the RV. Oh, it's happening. My intel. What are you talking to aliens or something, dude? Coming late. Sorry. Do you know anything about the Boulevard or any of its currency? Bolivar. You haven't watched my videos on Venezuela updates? Go look at it. Go any of them. Rumble, YouTube. I've done multiple videos on the Venezuelan currency. If you want to know more, I have actually an inventory sheet of all the 4 issuances of Bolivar currency. The Bolivar, the original, the Bolivar Fuerte, the Bolivar Soberano, and the Bolivar Digitale. Go watch my videos, yes. If you're not familiar with it, you probably should. But this is not financial advice, not medical, not legal, not even friendly advice. So fuck you, fuck off, do your own research. Don't listen to me. I'm just a moron. I don't know anything. I'm just dumb as a box of fucking rocks. Okay? That's how you should look at it. That Floyd guy, you don't know jack shit. Your cities, counties, states, and the federal government are all goddamn corporations registered Dun & Bradstreet apps. So fucking they are. So are the courts. It took me years to find my court in Dun & Bradstreet because Legally, in the law books, it's labeled the judicial, hold on, the 351st Judicial Court of Harris County, Texas. But on Dun and Bradstreet, it's Harris County, room 351. How clever. True, 100%. Absolutely. Look who invested in the ballroom in D.C. They're all invested in the AI data center. It's going to be under the ballroom in D.C. No. Data centers. Go do your homework. I've done videos on this. I study AI. I study robotics. Why? Because I want to know what the future holds. I want to know what the future is going to be. Some of the biggest, fastest, most monstrosity of research is being done right here in my own backyard at Rice University. They do so much research. I don't even have time to go read all the freaking articles they publish on all the different stuff they're doing. Do you know we have a national wastewater surveillance system? Did you hear me? National wastewater surveillance system. So in the morning, what's the first thing you go do? You go sit on the toilet or stand on the toilet. And what do? You expel your DNA and it goes into the National Wastewater Surveillance System. Why? Why would they want to surveil wastewater? According to Richard, MAGA is the fourth degree in Satanism. Wouldn't surprise me. Watch the purple street lights go up everywhere. Yep, they actually one jurisdiction got sued and had to remove them. We elect sheriffs. We don't elect cops. No, because cops are policemen. They are at the mercy of the mayor. That's who elects the police chiefs, who hires the cops. Most of them just want you to pay a membership fee. I'm using Google Voice to text, so pardon my typing mistakes. Oh, yeah, that's fine. I already know. Eon on YouTube, 42 years, constitutional lawyer. Would you like me to call Eon right now? I have his number. I can call anybody. I do that. Like, I want to know what they know. And I call them and I have a conversation with them. So most of these people I talk to all the time. Some of them I've talked to them once, and that's all I needed to talk to them. We're going to mention any names, so let me hide that. Hey, let me throw this banner up. Oh, and let me do some house cleaning while I'm here. We did the trust accounting class. Thank you for all sticking around. We did a live trust accounting class last Saturday night, and Anne LaFleur, who lives in the French Polynesian island chain near Tahiti, her Wi-Fi, when it's, they're having thunderstorms and stuff, it goes in and out. So we were having technical issues. We tried to do it on StreamYard, but I had too many students. So StreamYard wouldn't hold it, and it was buffering, and I was having all kind of problems. So we had to go over to Zoom. I surrendered my subscription to Zoom years ago. So we had to use the 40-minute free version. So we ended up doing 4 segments. And for some reason, the first segment, everybody could see the screen share, but on the video, it's a black screen. So we lost that whole first segment. So I'm going to do another live class. I don't know when I'm going to schedule it. So if you missed the first one and you want to participate in the second one, you're still going to get all the goodies. You're still going to get the 2 free ebooks. Run Your Trust Like a Pro, Trust Accounting. You're going to get all the Excel spreadsheets, plus the bonus offer that Ann threw in at the last minute. And I won't tell you what it is. But yeah, she blessed your game, I'm telling you. I'm also doing 2 other classes, one on the 6th, the other on the 13th. And they will be for a healthcare directive. and your final will and testament. If you're not familiar with the healthcare directive, if for some reason you become debilitated, invalid, incapacitated to make your own rational cognitive decisions for your own healthcare, and you have a valuable estate, and somebody wants your stuff, but you get put on life support. So now the hospital's asking you, what's the health directive? Do they want to be resuscitated, or do they have a do not resuscitate that they would just like to pass along because their quality of life is deteriorated where they really have no function in society anymore? Well, you wanted to be resuscitated. However, the person they asked wants your estate. So guess what? The answer is, oh, hell no, it's a DNR. Kill that motherfucker. So what I do is I walk people through a template so you can create your own anti-fraud proof, okay? Which means nobody can copy it. Nobody can come up with another copy, go, oh, look, I got the real directive. No. Same thing with your will. Fraud proof. $49. Where can you beat that? How many horror stories have you heard of people dying in assisted living facilities due to neglect? Don't be that victim. Take the class. If you have the money, take the class. They're all available on the website. I got a Black Friday sale run until the 30th of this month. Is that the last day? It is the last day. So, till the end of November, Black Friday sale. I got 5 different packages. Actually, 6. If you buy two and solo trust ebooks, you get one free. I got to go put that on there. I keep forgetting. It's only one way out, folks. Only one way out. And you better pay attention. Because you're over here dilly-dallying around with these fucking idiots. These retarded individuals who just believe anything, pass anything off as truth. Just like this latest document allegedly signed by Donald Trump where some idiot named John Kennedy Lincoln Clooney is the new president of the world or some bullshit. Somebody sent me that, and in like 3 seconds, AI, here, bullshit, screenshot, edit, send. I don't understand. Of course you don't. Because you're in Q-Tard University and you refuse to step out of Q-Tard University and you want to believe all this bullshit over in Real Raw News before it was news, where it's 90% fact, 10% bullshit. Why do you think I do my own research? Why I never, ever go to Real Raw News before. I don't go to any of those websites. I'm not even going to entertain that trash. If it was real fucking news, my videos would be on there. My video, when I told everybody, when it was publicly announced by Iran, not Iraq, Iran, that they had 2,200 kilometers of deep underground military bases, and gave a little brief synopsis of the inventory in those deep underground military bases, those videos did basically nothing. And then Trump goes over here, we dropped some bunker busters and we stopped their nuclear program. Bullshit. What about those 2,200 kilometer and deep underground military bases, Trump? Did you get those? No. Did you mention them? No. How foolish we Americans are. I understand why other countries just laugh at us. How stupid we are. Gullible. Naive. You know, it's almost an embarrassment to call yourself a U.S. citizen, U.S. national, and American just because of what our government's doing. Okay? Here's a little Venezuelan news. Expect Maduro to flee. Okay? Otherwise, he's going to be in a supermax prison in Colorado in a SHU, special housing unit, all by his lonesome, next door to some cartel kingpin, next to some Middle Eastern terrorist. I don't think that's how he wants to live out the golden years. Do you? If he was smart, his ass would be on a private jet to China or Russia or some other friendly country where he can live out the remaining years of his life with all that money he made. So there will be a governmental change in Venezuela, either be militarily or by abandonment. But don't expect Maduro to stand up and fight. He's had it too good, too easy for too long. All he has to do is like, hey, what did they do with Saddam Hussein? Oh, yeah, they went in there and killed his whole family. And then they hung him. That's what he has to look forward to. So, and when it happens, so if you have like 20 bucks extra, you might want to purchase a little Venezuelan digitali, try to get you the 500 Bolivar digitali note, like 10 to 20 bucks. And you might get a handsome return on your investment down the road. But that's not financial advice, and don't take it as financial advice. Remember, I'm just this dumb fuck moron talking to my laptop. Go do your own research. If I don't see you before Thanksgiving, happy holidays. Be safe, safe travels, be careful, take care of yourself. Don't talk politics, religion, or weather when you see your family or friends this holiday season. Be at peace with yourself, be at peace with them. Love one another. God bless you. Thank you for watching. Share this video with God and everybody. I think God needs to see this video because he needs to pound some intelligence in some of these ignorant fools who are running around playing all these roles, the sovereign citizens, even though they label themselves something else. Thank you. Have a good night.